Welcome everyone to the May 18th virtual admissions morning at Royce Moore School. I am Amanda Avery, the Director of Admissions and Financial Aid at Royce Moore. Thank you for joining us today. We're so happy to be nearing the end of the school year. We can't believe it. Home stretch, so we've made it, all of us. Whether you have children in school or you're a member of a school community, as a teacher, faculty member, it's very exciting to be getting to this point during a very unprecedented year. So today we will be providing you with a lot of information. We have our head of school here joining us today, Adrienne Finley-Odell, members of our senior class, our students who are graduating in just a couple of weeks. We are so proud of them, and we're looking forward to hearing from them in just a little while. Also with us are members of our administrative team. We will have an opportunity for some breakout room Q&A towards the end of the event by division. So if you're seeking lower, middle, or high school admission, you will have a chance to ask some questions and meet with the division head from the division of the school that you are interested in. We are also having an opportunity to hear about our summer camp programs. So I'm going to turn things over now to our head of school, and she's going to kick us off.
Terrific. Thank you, Amanda. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking part of your morning to learn about Royce Moore School. I'm thrilled to share a little bit with you about our school this morning, a school I'm very proud to serve as head of school of this wonderful community, a community that has really come together in a powerful way during a very difficult time for our country and our world. We're a school that's 105 years old. There's not a lot of schools that have been around that long. And, this is our second pandemic that the school has been through. We've been through wars and depressions and, racial tensions, lots of things during the history of the school. But one thing is true. This is a place that historically has been a place that serves the individual student, where children are known and supported and can be themselves and reach their full potential, whatever that might be. And that is our focus first and foremost, despite what is going on around us. One of the things that's really amazing about Royce Moore is its size. In fact, our small size is our strength. And what happens when you have a small school is you have a very strong community where every student is supported in ways that are special for them. The teachers know them really, really well. The partnership with parents is really remarkable, and you'll hear from some of our parents today about that. But getting through a pandemic is a really interesting thing to do. But when you have a community like ours, it's a lot easier to do when the strength of the relationships is there. So you can see here some of the things that happened during this past year in this pandemic. We're actually coming upon our annual auction that will be this Saturday. It's to raise funds for scholarship, which is a big part of our focus here, is to have an economically diverse student body. In the picture you see up at the top is one of our students who is cutting the beard of Dr. Dudick, her science teacher, that her parents bid on and won because that was his pandemic beard. And so she cut it and colored it. It was quite a fun event that our teacher was game to do. And then you'll see Bryn Levitt working individually with one of our students in middle school with French. Students outside, we have a lovely area all around our school where kids can be outside, and we take advantage of that. And one of the other things that happened during the pandemic is one of our parents is a master stone carver. You saw that close-up picture of a student reaching up to touch the top of the griffin. That's the daughter of the incredible artist who made that during the pandemic and gave it as a gift to the school. And so you'll see here our early childhood students with their sign thanking him for the gift. And now that griffin serves as a powerful inspiration that each of us have magical powers and abilities that are beyond even what we think we can do. And that's part of our goal, is to help young people realize the power of their potential. We also really focus on student engagement here. When students are engaged with their learning, they are able to achieve so much more than they thought they could. We really focus on trying to have a balance between challenging students appropriately and stretching them, but not over challenging them. And when that happens, it's sort of a sweet spot that we grow and learn in powerful ways. And with that achievement, we are able to become our very best selves. And you see here examples of students who are taking advantage of the unique opportunities that they have here to really learn and do a deep dive. Our work here is informed by our portrait of a graduate. Our portrait of a graduate has identified key skills and attributes that we want all of our students to acquire during their experience here at Royce-Moore. And you'll see the scholarship, citizenship, and emotional intelligence given equal billing in our portrait. That is pretty unique for a school to say, look, we believe the emotional intelligence focus is as important as, the reading, arithmetic, and other skills. So we do start with the foundational skills with scholarship, and foundational skills include those things like math and reading and writing. But beyond that, once the kids have those abilities, we look at communication. This is the ability to effectively communicate orally, in writing, through technology, with the application of data that's essential to achieving one's highest potential. Collaboration is hugely important. How many things are accomplished today on one's own? Like almost all achievement and innovation is accomplished through teams. And we start teaching young people to learn how to work in teams and understand their own strengths and what they need to have in support of their own strengths as they build teams through learning how to collaborate. Creativity, we believe, is a fundamental skill to develop. It is not something that somebody innately has or doesn't have. We all have creativity, and we approach creativity not just in the art room, but throughout a student's educational experience here. So how about some creative approaches to how we solve problems? How about how we think in different ways to get at an issue, and give students the tools to think creatively, such as design thinking. We teach design thinking as an approach here for problem solving, and that is a creative problem solving approach. Critical thinking, clearly in today's world of a lot of misinformation, young people need to be able to ascertain what is a valid source, what is accurate, what is questionable. And I think this is going to be a growing challenge in our world. We've seen it on the political side. We can see it in business and the economic lives that we live. We have to be able to have the skill set to think deeply and critically and question appropriately, have an inquiring mind, so that we can get to the answers to the innovations that our world needs. Self-advocacy. In this week's newsletter, I write about self-advocacy that's coming out today. In fact, I have been covering each of these skills in our weekly newsletter piece, if you are getting our newsletters. But young people, without developing those self-advocacy skills, really could live their lives at the affect of what's happening around them. And we start at a very young age giving even our preschool children the tools, the language for how to talk with their friends and solve problems. And, that advances into our elementary and our middle and high school level, where students get to know themselves as a learner. They are encouraged to reach out to their teachers. They are encouraged how to critically assess a teammate's contributions to a group and advocate for themselves in the group and manage those group dynamics. These are the kinds of skills that are important long after Royce-Moore. They're important in college and in life. Imagine going into the work world and not being able to advocate for yourself when you are seeking that raise or seeking those opportunities. So this is a skill that we intentionally develop. Leadership and social influence. Understanding what leadership is, we start building that in, again, at a young age. We are a proponent of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And for our youngest learners, that is all coached in leadership language, but they learn those 7 habits and how to be a leader by thinking win-win, beginning with the end of mind, putting first things first, synergize, how to work together, and understanding that they can provide social influence in ways that is not bombastic, that in ways that are kind and respectful and align with the core values of Royce-Moore. And that brings us to citizenship. That is another key part of the portrait of a graduate. The citizenship includes the curiosity for diverse perspectives. It includes cultural humility, being respectful of what the experiences are of your classmates that may be different from yours, but have as much value as your own experience. In fact, maybe there's something that you can learn from someone else. Being a good citizen also includes respect for those different pathways to understanding. So we encourage students to think about different ways a problem might be solved through the lens of others' beliefs and cultures. And students can learn that there are many ways to solve problems. And we have a very diverse student body here. So there are natural opportunities for students to learn from each other. And even though we're an independent school, we have our student body that represents students from multiple religions, races, ethnicities, economic backgrounds, different family backgrounds and makeups that I think mirrors the kind of experience that young people have in the world after Royce-Moore. So some people are sometimes concerned about private school being a bubble kind of environment. I would say the bubble here is the bubble of an approach of kindness and leadership and this portrait of a graduate that I've talked about that actually enhances their experience in ways that they couldn't get in other places. And that leads me to the third aspect of our portrait of a graduate, which is emotional intelligence. And you may have heard this language. It was first popularized by Daniel Goleman, who's a psychologist and author. It's been identified as an important ability that's critical to reaching some of your highest levels of achievement. In fact, it's been suggested that it's twice as important as technical skills. So EQ involves the social perceptiveness and awareness of one's own and others' reactions, being cooperative and pleasant to work with, the ability to connect with others and sensitive to their needs and feelings, and the ability to regulate your own emotions. As I mentioned, we follow the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In the lower school, that's framed in this Leader in Me, which is that book, but brought down to a young person's level. And in our thinking about EQ and the Portrait of a Graduate, we focused on 5 aspects of that. The first is resilience, and we create an environment that embraces failure as an important part of the learning process. We create situations for students to be able to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and understand, actually, in order to achieve the best level, your highest level of achievement, you have to fail. You have to go through a lot of bumps and bruises to be able to gain strength as an individual, but also from the standpoint of our learning and growth. Landing a rover on Mars doesn't happen overnight, right? There's lots of mistakes along the way that you learn from and improve upon to get to those great innovations. Students also learn independence. I mentioned the self-advocacy piece, super important for young people. They get to know themselves as learners and their individual strengths and areas of challenge. Building in perseverance is also part of our emotional intelligence work. Encouraging students to not give up, to keep working through a problem. That is going to serve them very well in their life after Royce Moore. And interpersonal skills. I mentioned earlier the collaboration up under the scholarship piece. Students do learn the critical feedback skills to be able to give and receive feedback. That's an important skill to learn, to not take things personally. That's how you grow. I'm a big advocate for mentorship. The best mentors challenge us to think about areas that we can improve. And so we teach young people those skills here at Royce Moore so that they don't take that feedback personally. And then the final part of emotional intelligence in our Portrait of a Graduate is empathy. I think about some of the challenges of our world today and the growing violence that's happening both in our city and in our world, and the rise of technology. And the more we become separated from each other and don't see ourselves in each other, the more dangerous it is for our world, and the more likely violence is going to happen. So I think it's really important for our schools to teach empathy and not just assume that it's going to happen, to understand each other, to lean into conversations, to learn about each other, and to develop that compassion to think through situations from various perspectives. So our Portrait of a Graduate prepares students for lots of the opportunities that they get here at Royce Moore. I mentioned the design thinking. We are really proud to partner with Adobe Corporation, who has brought teams in to teach all of our teachers how to teach design thinking, which is this creative problem-solving process that is an important tool no matter what area of endeavor you pursue after high school. Our faculty have created professional learning communities, so they are on a trajectory of continued growth and learning so that they can support your children to be their very best. They take advantage of the opportunities in our neighborhood with various museums, with the cultural riches of Evanston and Chicago. Our partnership with Northwestern also is a great benefit to our students in a variety of ways, and you'll be hearing some of that from our students as well. Other partnerships include with the Family Institute at Northwestern, where they have done parent education events such as the showing of Childhood 2.0, which was a documentary that we had all of our families watch and then join in on a panel discussion with some folks from the Family Institute. And we partnered with other area independent schools so that we had a broader dialogue, because the issues of how technology is impacting young people in their lives is not unique to the kids at Royce-Moore. It goes long past the borders of our campus. So we find ways to partner with our friends in the neighborhood and beyond to enrich the learning experience for our faculty, for our parents, and for our students. I mentioned Adobe. The picture on the top right here was a phenomenal event that we had pre-pandemic, but Adobe had this program called Creative Jam that they did in colleges, where students form teams and they learn a new Adobe software, and they then are presented with a challenge that they have to address. And in the case for our students, they heard a presentation from the Chief Sustainability Officer at the city of Evanston, and Evanston's commitment to be carbon neutral by 2050. And the students were challenged to create an app to serve as an educational tool to get the citizens of Evanston on board with all of the mitigation strategies that the city of Evanston is trying to encourage people to adopt. So there were prizes, there was a lot of teamwork and excitement, but they also learned incredible skills as a result of this experiential learning opportunity, which we believe in those experiential learning opportunities as much as we can to make sure that the students are engaged. And speaking of engagement, we've been very proud to have an on-campus learning experience this year. Our Health and Safety Task Force has created a first-in-class plan that has guided our mitigations throughout the year. And I'm proud that that plan has resulted in, knock on wood, 0 COVID outbreaks at school this year. You know, there have been some COVID cases, but not related to school. They've been outside of school. So we've been able to maintain on-campus instruction for most of the year for our students, which we think has benefited them greatly. And we have also had students that have participated remotely during this time. When there has been a case of COVID and students have had to go into quarantine, our teachers were also really prepared to pivot and support the students in powerful ways. I have been just amazed at what our teachers have accomplished this year in supporting their students, so that our students aren't missing a beat in their educational journey. They've continued to grow and learn and enthusiastically embrace all that has been presented to them. And I believe I'm going to turn it over to Amanda. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrienne, for sharing all that great information. And actually, Both Long will be talking a little bit about athletics, I believe, in just a moment. He's the director of our athletic program, so we can turn things over to him.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you, Adrienne. My name is Both Long. I'm Royce-Moore's newest athletic director. I just got onto campus July 2020. I stepped on campus as Royce-Moore's summer camp director, and later on you'll hear from me and my partner Luke Berryman on our efforts on the camp side of things. But yeah, a little bit about me. I've coached soccer at all levels, ranging from grassroots, club, college, and semi-pro. Most recently, semi-pro in Houston. We were working to get women into the pro circuit down in Houston, and it was a lot of fun. So a lot of the skills, hard skills picked up as an educator, as a teacher along the years, helped me out as a mentor, guiding players with big dreams to maybe a step closer towards those ambitions. I love sports. Soccer is my main sport, but sport in general for me means an opportunity to test yourself, an opportunity to become somebody that you think you can become, and an opportunity to connect. For me, my life has changed so much and so positively over the years through soccer, through sports. And I love this opportunity to work and pay forward all the good that has come my way. Royce was a school that I saw as a place full of similar hearts that beat for education, that beat for a better tomorrow, and they take their path through different perspectives. So we all come together and share where we come from, so that we can work as partners through a childhood's most formative years. I want to share that I love the Portrait of a Graduate. I love the three themes revolving around scholarship, citizenship, and emotional intelligence. I believe all of those themes are within the genetic makeup, in the DNA of sports. You look at what it means to strive, what it means to study and delve into self-reflection in terms of scholarship, what it means to be a part of a group in terms of citizenship, and then also to have the compassion and empathy that you need when you are a member of a team. In the top left picture here, we've got myself and Richard Ackerman playing soccer this past fall. A lot of our programming was adjusted to comply with COVID safety protocols. So we still find a way to get out there and pursue our mutual love for soccer in a safe way. Top right, going clockwise, that's our middle school basketball program. We are a co-ed program at the middle school level. We are a no-cut school at both middle school and upper school level. And this to me is a really cool and unique approach to inclusivity, which I think is something that also has drawn me towards Royce-Moore, is an open door opportunity for all students to engage. So if you're somebody who's experienced and has a lot of mileage, so to speak, with a certain sport, or if you're a student who's trying out a new sport, a new interest, we've got room for you. And it's a lot of fun to see the teammates and the friendships build off of this. Some of my favorite moments in that middle school basketball season this past winter were moments when I could lean on some of the leaders, some of the more experienced players, to be guiding mentors and guiding figures for their friends, for their peers. Coach to student, coach to player learning is obviously really important, but I think as important, if not more, is the player to player learning. And that is something that a no-cut policy offers us as a tool to move forward. Samad Bakari is down on the lower right. You can't tell me I can put together a PowerPoint slide and not have it filled with soccer. So I'm going to try to get as much soccer in there as possible. But yeah, we're outside working on some skills. In the middle, lower middle, that's our middle school volleyball program. We were able to mark off squares, safety squares, so that kids can be in their zone and still comply with the social distancing protocol. And then over here on the left, the lower left, we've got our fencing program. We partner with Lincoln Square Fencing. Coach Clint is in the middle in the yellow, and he's a hit with all the students. They love fencing, and we've got a really cool, eclectic group of kids expanding what it means to be an athlete. So athletics is not just the traditional mainstream sports, but we're looking to expand and out and see what we can offer for students as a place to grow and test themselves on a team level and the individual level. And yeah, that's it for me. I must say that it's been an honor and a privilege to serve as AD in this crazy chaotic year, but really excited for what is to come down next year. Amanda, mic is yours. Thank you.
Well, I want to turn it over now to two of our incredible seniors who are here with us today, and one of our amazing parent ambassadors. Roycemore has a strong commitment to socioeconomic diversity, social justice, equity, and inclusion. Our community members truly work together to create a more just and inclusive environment for all. And I'd like to turn it over first to Bessie, who is one of our parent representatives. She has been heavily involved in the Parent Social Justice, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And we now have a live web page on our website that outlines the efforts of that committee. And I'd like to allow Bessie to share a little bit about that.
Hi, everyone. Really excited to see the work on the webpage. I know that a lot of times we get so busy doing work that we don't have a chance to sort of share what we've been up to. So I actually just looked at the webpage myself a few minutes ago, and it's really great to see all that great information posted there. So I do encourage you to go give it a look, get a sense of what we're doing and ways that you might get involved as well. The Parent SEI group is the Social Justice, Equity, and Inclusion group. And we just basically came together, I guess around the summertime. We had a feel that we had a call to action, and as parents wanted to know what we could do to help the school community sort of deal with all of the things that were going on around us. And so the group came together and just sort of started brainstorming ideas. And one of the first projects we did was looking at our library and seeing how we could make it even more inclusive, bring in more authentic authors that can share a sense of different perspectives, different peoples, different lived experiences. And so we had a really great collaboration with our wonderful librarian, Hilda Gonzalez, and we've got a really fantastic list of books that we're acquiring. We've had some folks donate to get funds together to get some more books into the library, and more importantly, into the hands of our students. We feel that it's so important for students to be exposed to a variety of different reading material. So that's been a project that we've all been really excited about. Throughout the year, with COVID, we've sort of tailored what we've been able to do. But one of the things we did want to be sure to do was to have the community able to get together and discuss. And so the middle school, we've hosted a couple of sort of field trips, virtual field trips with Facets, which is a film group in Chicago. And so we've had a couple of field trips with our middle school families where we've watched really insightful films. One was a film series about Black history and Black achievement. And the second was, oh gosh, I am blanking, but it was about, Jolie is here, she can help me. I'm completely blanking on the title, but it was a really nice film set in Afghanistan. And we had a wonderful discussion with parents and students.
The Breadwinner.
Breadwinner, thank you. Thank you, Jolie.
I had to think.
I knew you would have my back. Thanks for that. The Breadwinner, wonderful. Highly recommend that film. And really nice to just have a chance to talk with other parents and students about our reactions to a film like that. We've also just recently had a book club discussion. It's our first of many to come on a book by Heather McGee, which is The Sum of Us. And again, another fantastic book, wonderful conversation. We talked so much that we realized that the hour just flew by so quickly that we decided to reconvene in the fall and continue the conversation, because there's just so much rich material in a book like that. And again, just really nice to be able to have a conversation like that with our community and have everybody be so open and sharing and learning from each other. So I look forward to continued work with this group. Very excited that we are here and happy that Roycemore has been so welcoming of us being here.
Thanks so much, Bessie. I really appreciate everything that you do.
Thanks.
Well, we have a couple of students here, actually seniors, who are set to graduate in just a couple of weeks from now. China wasn't able to join us today, but I want to turn things over now to Alex. She's going to share more about the GSA, which is the Gender and Sexuality Alliance at Roycemore.
Hello. So in my sophomore and freshman year, we actually did have a club. It was the Gay Straight Alliance. However, in junior year, after Mr. Fogarty had retired, my friend Hanu and I had wanted to take over, but we were wondering, like Gay Straight Alliance isn't very, it's very two things, or that's at least how it sounds. And with society and how it's evolving to really show who people are today, we decided to change the name to Gender Sexuality Alliance. Yes, and so we had started the club. And now it's actually like 13 members and like with like people popping in and out, and it's so amazing. Yes, I'm very sorry. And what we've been doing is really just like showing people who they should be and who they are, and things like that. Like the first weeks we started, we actually did each letter of the LGBTQIAN+. And with each letter, we went in depth on like the history. And if anyone was identified with that letter, we had interviewed them, let them talk and share their experience. And we also had like meaningful, like kind of hard discussions, like how gender is a social construct and how it can be actually harmful to our society, and about like queer baiting, queer coding. And so with that, we're teaching allies how to be allies to other people, like including people with the LGBTQ community. We're teaching like how, like, for example, lesbians to be allies with transgender people, and like literally like every single letter to be allies, not just like how straight people could be allies to the LGBTQ community in whole. And so, so this was just kind of like the start. And when I was talking to the two people I'm giving my legacy onto, we're talking about how we can like expand, and how like, since this was just like, it was like an introductory course this year. And so I'm very excited to see how like my two beautiful little freshmen and junior will like continue this like share of like knowledge and helping people feel like accepted as who they are. And yes, that is the Gender Sexuality Alliance so far.
Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate your time. Finally, I want to turn things over to another one of our amazing seniors, Amrina. Amrina founded the Muslim Student Association at Royce-Moore. She's going to talk more about her leadership efforts with that association, as well as other opportunities she's taken part in at Royce-Moore.
Hello, I'm Amrina. I'm a senior, and I recently started Muslim Students Association, actually in the beginning of my senior year, so like September. And basically what we do is we've had club meetings where we met up online, because I've been an online student this year. We met up online and we talked about Islam in general, and we have some non-Muslim students as well in our club. So we basically educated them on what Islam actually is. We had other Muslim students give them their input and perspective. And then we started off with more permanent plans, such as getting in a holiday for Eid al-Fitr at the end of Ramadan, and then also promoting Ramadan and like certain Muslim practices to make Royce-Moore a more including environment, because I've been here since 4th grade, and this is the first time that I've really pushed for Islamic representation in our community. And it actually worked really smoothly, because in September we took it to the board to get Eid off as a official holiday, and throughout the year with efficient communication and proper like encouragement, we did end up getting that day off starting next year, and we did accomplish that as a group in our first year while being online. So far, as even though it's a new club, it's very revolutionized to fit not only the Muslim student in terms of including the Muslim student and making them feel more involved in Royce-Moore's community, but also involving a non-Muslim student and educating everyone as a whole as to why Islam is worth fighting for, why students in the community, even if it's just one Muslim student, why there should be education about why they practice what they practice, and certain support for that student's faith. And so that's originally why I started MSA. But I also realized that to take Royce-Moore's advantages of its inclusive environment, that I should really push for a holiday at least, so students can understand that we Muslims also have holidays that we like to take off, and we like to observe spiritual prayer and all of that. So really that's what the MSA focused on this year. And in the process, I picked a freshman who is also very passionate about efforts of representing Islam in the community, and he will also continue certain projects next year. Hopefully we'll do more things with like mosques and more interactive opportunities with speakers. And yeah, that's basically the mission of MSA. We're really just a very chill club, pushing for more Islamic representation in our community.
Thank you so much, Amrina. We're so proud of you, and to Alex and all of our other seniors who are graduating this year. Well, after hearing from those students, it shouldn't be surprising that our students do receive 100% college acceptance. Our students are working closely with our Director of College Counseling. They are receiving personalized support when they are considering their college choices. Our students receive quite a high percentage of merit scholarship aid. They are taking advanced placement courses here, as well as courses at Northwestern University as high school students. They are very well-rounded. They are incredibly involved in activities and programs aside from focusing on rigorous academics. So we're very proud of them. So you may not know that at Royce-Moore, we, aside from having a stellar academic program during the school year, we have an array of options in our summer programs. And we wanted to give you the opportunity, especially as we're heading into the summer months here shortly, to hear more about the summer programs at Royce-Moore. And here to share more are Dr. Luke Berryman and Both Long, who head up the summer programs at Royce-Moore.
Yes, so as I alluded to earlier, I am also a summer camp director. One of my hats is to put on my summer hat and come here and support our programs this coming summer. Like I said, last summer was my first one on site. I inherited a program that is older than me. And I'm honored to take the reins and kind of carry the torch from Dee Brogran and Melinda Ozar. They were two camp leaders before me, started camp in the 70s here at Royce-Moore, and it was a little bit of a whirlwind start, but definitely worth all the work. It was a lot of fun last summer, and I had all these great memories to cherish and hold on to through the years. Luke.
Yeah, thanks, Both. And like you said, it's been a privilege to come into a set of summer camps that's already so well established and so well known among the community. And yeah, we inherited something that was already in great shape and had a great platform upon which to build. And, you know, it's exciting to be able to share all those ideas now.
So this summer, our camp programming will run from June 14th to August 6th. All three programs, Inspiration Factory, Camp Griffin, and Royce X, have been synchronized to start and end at the same time. And Inspiration Factory, that's for our youngers, 4 to 10. We've got all kinds of great and neat programming where kids can blend a little bit of that Royce-Moore spirit into summer, the learning by having fun or learning through having fun. All the camp favorites are coming back: Waterworks, Little Chefs and Manners, and Space Camp. Camp Griffin is also for a range of our younger students up to our middle school students, and that's more of a general approach to camp. That's the camp that is offering our students a chance to try everything. We have arts and crafts, we have field trips, we have swimming, and we also have fun games. One game I have in my memory bank, stored in my memory bank, is shaving cream art. I remember the counselors came in and there were about maybe 10 to 20 cans of shaving cream, and it was organized, chaotic fun. The kids had laughs, and the kids had a lot of smiles on their faces. You could hear them smiling, hear them laughing from the second floor. And then Royce X is the newest addition to camp, and I'll let Luke talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, like Both says, Royce X is brand new this year, and it's something that we've had a great time putting together, and now we're just looking forward to rolling it out. So I think broadly speaking, the goal for RoyceX is to give students a realistic taste of what it's like to study a subject at college. So these are things that they might not ordinarily be able to do during the school year. And they'll be working with a really diverse range of people as well. So in addition to Royce Moore's own faculty who are going to be involved in delivering RoyceX, we've also got some really exciting people coming in from outside, researchers at Northwestern and other universities who are helping us put these courses together. So the RoyceX camp is divided into two. So there is a series of programs for middle school students, and then there's a separate series of programs for the upper school students. And we've really tried to cover the broadest range of subjects that we could. So they go all the way from the sciences to the arts and everything in between. So things like astronomy and astrophysics and medicine are very popular in terms of enrollments at the moment. Creative writing, studio art, criminology, psychology, all proving very popular as well. So there's something for everyone there. In terms of the day-to-day structure, these programs begin at 9 a.m. and they run until 4 p.m. and there's a 1 hour lunch break in between. Now that sounds like a lot of class time, and it is a lot of class time. It's a lot of contact time. You get to know your member of faculty very well by the end of the week. But the way that these subjects are being taught is very interactive, immersive, and hands-on. The ethos, the guiding principle for all of these courses is experiential learning. So whether it's astrophysics or creative writing, the idea is that the students are learning the subject by doing it somehow. So with all of the teachers, we're working with them to make sure that they are building in as many opportunities to get out into the real world as we possibly can. Obviously, to some extent, that's being mitigated by the requirements of the pandemic. But we're doing our utmost to make sure that there's plenty of field trips and plenty of opportunity to get outside and see how these subjects are done as professions by professionals. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to expose the students to new ways of thinking, as well as subject matter that they might not have encountered before. But it's also going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting these things launched. I think it's going to be an exciting summer.
Thank you, Luke. As Luke mentioned in his brief intro of RoyceX, our camp protocol, our camp health and safety protocol, will still remain in place from last summer's less certain and less stable status of operating summer camps. We are proud and happy to share that summer camps in 2020 went off without a hitch. We met as a team and had many discussions with our health and safety task board, with our doctors on that health and safety task force to ensure that all of our students and all of our faculty members and counselors were safe and are safe. This was a really cool team to be a part of, and we're looking forward to another summer where we can offer fun and safety without compromising either of the two pillars of our camp. To share a little bit about how we plan to keep our kids safe and how we've evolved our steps towards safety. We have been in touch with local bus companies in Evanston. Positive Connections is a company to ensure that their health and safety standards meet ours and that we're aligned on the approach. We also have been in touch with the YWCA and talking about reduced group sizes for swimming. So our camp will be allowed a swimming block of time every day of the week, and that time is reserved for only our members of the staff and our campers. Anything involving a field trip off campus, we are looking at options that will be outside or will be in open enough spaces where our mask on policy will be respected and upheld by our camp and as well as anybody in the area. Even though a lot of our faculty members will be vaccinated by camp start, and even though the Chicago and Illinois protocol and mitigations are being reduced and are being a little bit lifted as we move closer towards summer, we still want to make sure that we're operating from a confident and proven protocol. So we'll be having all of our mask on policy that we had all year and all last summer still be in place, and we're still going to be offering and implementing our frequent hand washing breaks so that we can move confidently through our programming without any blind spots. And I think lastly, it's gonna be great for us to look at this summer as our first step towards normalcy, or towards kind of what was before 2020. And like Luke said, our camp day across the board for Inspiration Factory up to Royce X starts at 9, ends at 4. There is an early drop-off component at 7:30 for any families that might need it. The structure of that early drop-off is a little bit more of kind of a catch-all. So kids come in, there will be arts and crafts, some light games, some easy engaging games to come in and kind of get your day started, and then the official program will begin at 9. And those programs are designed by the head counselor of each group. So they submit to me a lesson plan for the week, and on that plan there'll be blocks of 40 to 45 minutes of time where a student and campers will be in an activity, either playing a game outside or inside, doing arts and crafts, or here, this is Archie doing a science experiment with some bubbles, and move on through the day. The day ends at 4 p.m. and offering our parents a bit of a cushion with a late pickup option at 6 p.m. The programming is less structured in these times between 4 and 6 p.m. and 7:30 and 9 a.m. We're looking at a structure that allows our kids to kind of unwind a little bit, decompress a little bit after a jam-packed day at camp, usually filled with a trip to the gym to shoot some hoops and play some gym games, or to watch a movie, or to just to hang out in their cohorts. And sorry, I just forgot. Yes, we'll be keeping our cohorts too. So we divided our group by ages, and each group will stay with that group as they move through the building and as they move through the camp day. So another structure that we'll keep in place for this coming summer. And then Luke, Mike's yours.
Yeah, so thanks, Both. So I would say, as just kind of a closing thought, that for anyone who's considering these summer programs, I would encourage enrolling sooner rather than later. We've got a lot of these classes that are beginning to fill up, and actually this week we've had to cap off a couple of them. So if you're thinking about it, I would strongly recommend that you go check out the website. The address is down there on Both's slide, roycemoreschool.org/summer. We're always very happy to hear from people. If you have any questions about the camps or any of the courses, please feel free to reach out. Again, all of the means of contacting us are there on that page. And yeah, we look forward to welcoming you this summer. I think it's going to be a memorable one.
Great. Thank you so much, Both and Luke. Sounds like there's some really exciting programs happening. If you are interested in signing up for summer camps, you can go to roycemoreschool.org/summer. Camps are open to students who are currently enrolled at Royce Moore, students who may be joining us in the fall, as well as outside students. So please know that we hope that you'll consider applying for admission for the fall. But if not, our camps are still a great way to get in the door and to see kind of what we're about. And Both and Luke do an incredible job with the camp. So I thank them very much for being here today. All right, moving right along, I wanted to give two more of our parents an opportunity to share a little bit about their experiences at Royce-Moore. Jolie and Angela are here, and I'll ask Jolie if you could share a little bit about your experience at Royce-Moore, and Jolie's child Orly is in our middle school.
Thanks, Amanda. And just out of respect for time, I want to make sure that everybody has a chance because we're going to go into those breakout rooms. Hi, everyone. I'm Jolie. My child Orly is a almost 7th grader at Royce-Moore, finishing their first year in the middle school. We came from the public schools. We had no plans to do it. I called Amanda hysterical in May of last year after realizing that maybe things were not, well, the whole world had obviously changed. And I had some concerns about, how Orly was going to thrive moving forward, being that, Orly's a really curious kid. And someone who, we had plans to send to a camp out east that was sort of Royce-X, but overnight, so lots of these programming that we couldn't offer Orly anymore. We didn't want them to lose that zest and drive for learning. And Amanda basically had me at a printout of the schedule, just showing what the school could offer academically. And I think that you guys, again, out of respect for time, have really, this place it embraces Evanston, which is everything we wanted for our kid in terms of the person who we want Orly to be and who they have and are becoming. And I'll share more of that in the breakout room. They talk the talk and walk the walk in terms of that spirit and community and really being a diverse and inclusive place. But academically, just to make a comment quickly, 2 weeks into Orly being here at Royce-Moore and online, I should mention, Orly was remote until March 1st. So we've really only had 3 months of full Royce-Moore participation. 2 weeks in, I get an email from the humanities teacher, from one of the 2 humanities teachers, because that's what you get at Royce-Moore, basically saying, Orly seems to know X and be interested in Y. So really, we have Z, but I think that they should X, Y, A, B, C. So it was this real attention to who Orly was as a learner right off the bat. And I was like, who's watching this house that they know my kids so well, so quickly? And that's what you get here. I say this all the time. Royce-Moore was a decision that I never thought I'd make in terms of sending my kid to private school. I grew up in New York. I do have some of those preconceived notions about what private school is, but Royce-Moore is also the best decision I never thought I'd make. And, pandemic or not, I will be sending my kid here now that I know what it has to offer. So with that, I'll turn it over to Angela.
So this is our 2nd year at Royce-Moore, and we started in the middle school, actually in 8th grade. And we had always known that we were going to look at and explore Royce-Moore for high school, but we were in a private school in the Chicago area, and the middle school just wasn't working for my daughter. She was becoming kind of hiding who she was, trying to be interested in things that she wasn't interested in. She was kind of a comic and Star Wars kid and kind of hiding that. And so we started looking, and she was unhappy. So we started looking for different programs, and we thought, well, let's just apply for Royce-Moore for the last year of middle school, and then we'll address it for high school. And it ended up being a really great move for us, and for a number of reasons. Even though we were coming from a bigger private school in Chicago, Royce-Moore has the ability, especially starting in middle school and the upper school, to kind of have kids from different grades in classes. So starting in 5th grade, they do math by ability, which is really important because I think as kids get older, especially in the sciences, they end up either having, learning it more quickly or just excelling at that. And Royce-Moore allows kids that might in 5th grade be in Algebra 1 allowed to be in those classes, which is great for their academic, but it also exposes them to more students. So even though it's a smaller school, it still seems large. So my daughter had high school students in her math class and 5th graders in her math class. So she got to know a range of kids and ended up having friends in all grades. And it was really nice to see just how her personality came back, and she was able to explore the things that she was interested in and kind of find a tribe of kids that she really fit with socially. And she just enjoyed going to school again. And then I cannot say enough about how Royce-Moore transitioned so quickly last year with their COVID plan. And then early on, when, we all thought that it would maybe be, well, I thought maybe it'd be 2 weeks, maybe a month, and we all know what ended up happening. But just the staff and the head of school listening to our parents' concerns, like we want more school time, or, just being that ability to change and meet everyone's needs, I think is really just an amazing part of being Royce-Moore. And then I can't say enough things nice about the parents and the family and the community that I've met. And even the ones we haven't met in person, like Jolie and I haven't met, but we've been on a bunch of parent admissions mornings, and just looking forward to when we can all be back again as a community, because I think that's one of Royce-Moore's biggest strengths, is you feel like you're in this family, whether it be in the Evanston community and middle school or upper school. I just can't. It's just been a wonderful place for our family and a great fit.
Thank you so much, Angela and Jolie, for sharing. We're so lucky to have you both. So I do want to head soon into our breakout room. So you will be having given an opportunity to ask some questions in your divisional breakout rooms for lower, middle, or high school. I just wanted to highlight our signature programs that I'm hoping our division heads will talk a little bit more about in your breakout room session. Our students take part in a lot of project-based learning. They do exercises in design thinking, where they really have to put on their problem-solving hats and are given a problem to solve. Our theme week in lower school, most recently, the students created inventions in our makerspace in the lower school area. Our middle schoolers in the Personal Passion Project, we're doing all sorts of amazing projects this year, and that culminated in a experience week in the middle of the school year, where they had a chance to share what they'd been learning. Our high schoolers are heading into their 50th next school year of the January short-term project, and that's a 3-week independent or small group project that happens between first and second semester for every high schooler, where they have an opportunity to deeply dive into a subject of interest, something that perhaps they've always had an interest in, or something brand new that they'd like to explore. So all of these projects really allow our students to get to know themselves, to get to know what their interests are. A lot of the projects students have taken part in, especially in that JST program, have led them into their career paths. So again, our division heads will talk a little bit more about that shortly in the breakout rooms. Before we head into breakout rooms, I want to just touch on a couple of housekeeping items. We are still accepting applications for every grade level. We can encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Classes are filling up. It is May, so many families have applied, and classes, again, are still accepting applications. I just encourage you to start that process as soon as possible. Let me know if you have any questions for me at all. Please reach out. My email is here. I've been in touch with many of you already, so hopefully we'll be able to get in touch and move things along. We are hosting on-campus shadow days for students who have fully applied, as well as meet the teacher visits that are happening either virtually or on campus, depending on the grade level, for our younger students who have fully applied. So there will be opportunities for your child to visit, again, wanting to keep in mind that the school year is coming to a close quickly. So we want to make sure we can move applications along and get your child on campus as soon as we can. We have a virtual tour page, so if you haven't been in the building physically, that's an option to take a look at. We are doing after-hours tours on a case-by-case basis, but just know that those are more limited at this time, just because of having to remain within our health and safety plan protocols and making sure that we're keeping our community safe. Tuition assistance is still available, but we are nearing the end of that review process as well for next school year. But it is based on a sliding scale. So if you are applying for admission and are also interested in being considered for tuition assistance for grades kindergarten through 12th, please consider taking a look at that page as well and try to align your application process for admission with that tuition assistance process. Okay. And now, in just a moment, you will be getting an invitation to join a breakout room. Our incredible division heads are here with us today. Darcy Aksamatowski is our lower school division head. She'll be in the lower school breakout room. Our head of middle school and assistant head of school for academics, Adrienne Floro, is here to talk with you about middle school. And then our head of the upper school, Stephanie Rivera, is here. Some of the students who helped us today and some of the parents will be hopping into those breakout rooms as well. So please feel free to hop in, get to know some of the people in your breakout room, ask them questions. We will come back very briefly at the end to address some final questions, but please spend the time in that breakout room that you feel is necessary.